Welcome to Toffee Blue View, your source for all things Everton. I'm Gerry. David's back, and Max is here. All right. See, I feel like I'm selling Max short because I'm giving David like an action movie tagline. Like, David's back, and Max is here. So now I'm going to work on Max. Next segment, I'm going to give you this kick-ass action entrance.
No, please don't.
Not for Max. None of that for Max.
You thought he was gone, but now he's back and he's kicking ass and taking names. It's Max and his hairband. So guys, one of the, I guess, surprising things, the pleasant surprises about this particular season under Silva is Michael Keane has flourished. Now, earlier on in the season, we did kind of a joking segment where we picked certain players that would be the worst on a desert island and, you know, things like that. And we just totally called out Michael Keane. We're like, he's not mentally strong. He's not going to be able to adapt. He would die immediately.
Was I on that episode?
Yeah. Me and you both were, I think. Yeah, I think Max was. I think it was all three of us, actually. And we just roasted him. And to be fair, he has adapted. He has turned it around. David, what do you have to say for yourself? It was me too. It was me too.
Me under the bus.
It was me too. I just wanted to see the look on your face.
Yourself. Listen, I take my hat off to Michael Keane. I think. I mean, we can't get carried away. I don't think he's been unbelievable. No. I have to save some sort of face on this, but he's definitely, for me, went up a level. The defence looks so much more assured with him in it, and it was just a real big season, this one for Keane, and he started it really well. He's I think he got one or two goals so far this season. Did he get one in the cup and one at Bournemouth?
I know.
No, I'm thinking of Valencia. He scored just before start of the season, didn't he? So yeah, he obviously got the goal there, but he just looks so much more assured. And I actually felt when he picked up that injury and we had Holgate and Zuma in there, we missed him, didn't we? Hey mate. Yeah, I thought we.
So.
Dexter's got a new coach.
For podcast people, you need to be aware that David's pup is chewing on David's earbud cord, and it's just the cutest little dog, and you can't even get mad at him. There he is. Oh, yeah. The people watching on TV are loving this, and the people who are listening are like, well, I hope he's cute. You know, I'm assuming he's cute. But yeah, it's a very.
We call him satellite ears because his ears are just ridiculous.
So what kind of dog is he? Just for people listening, David.
So he's a dachshund. He's got a bit of chihuahua in him. But luckily he's not very yappy, and he's a little blue nose as well. So that's the important thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, Michael Keane. So yeah. Anyway, all jokes aside, overall, I think he's looked really assured. I think he's looked stronger. He's looked more assured at the back end. It's nice to kind of have someone we've got a bit more faith in, certainly, in defence.
Max, you and I were talking the other day about how Keane and Zuma are making a good pairing right now because Keane looks pretty assured in the air, winning a lot of those 50-50 balls, but he's maybe lacking a little bit in speed. But Zuma picks up on that, and they seem to be kind of balancing out well together. Do you think that maybe one of the reasons Keane looked the way he did is he was paired so often with Ashley Williams?
Well, throwing shade everywhere today, aren't you, Gerry?
Yeah, Williams.
No, in compliment to Michael Keane, I think his good form came before even Kurt Zuma came in. I think this big turn of form came from the moment where Phil Jagielka was sent off in the first game against Wolves.
Yeah.
I think it was kind of this is the big leagues now, son. You've got to take a lot of responsibility, and I know this is the word that I keep bringing up again, but after last season, it seems like under Marco Silva, all these players look like they have something to fight for. They've got a manager that they want to impress. They've got a manager who puts their arm around them and says, listen, I've got faith in you, repay me. And you can tell that in Michael Keane's performances, because you struggle to recall a game where he's looked as sloppy as he did last season. His playing out from the back's comfortable. When he needs to get rid of it, he gets rid of it. In the air, he's making his presence felt. I still think he's got a bit of a 50p head and his accuracy isn't the greatest, but as long as he's winning the headers, that's all that matters. In terms of his partnership with Zuma, yeah, definitely the speed compensation of Zuma does make up for it. Obviously, with Gerry Mina playing the 60 minutes in the behind closed doors, it raises a few questions as to what the future holds for that partnership, which I'm sure we might touch on later. But in regards to Michael Keane, I wasn't the biggest hater of him in the first place, and I always kind of say, I just go back to last season, and I think with the pressure that was on everyone's shoulders last season, not just with the negativity surrounding the manager, but the negativity that was bred from the fan base from that. It was just a lot for anyone to bear, and I think with this freedom that's come with Marco Silva now, it's benefited everyone, including Michael Keane.
I'm under the impression that Silva is very specific when he's managing in practice. He's very specific. This is your role. This is what you do. This is what you do during this time. And I just don't think that Keane's previous managers this past season were as specific. I'm under the impression that Silva, despite, and he is that arm around the shoulder guy, the players love his ass, okay? Which is great. That's part of it, but it's also like, look, in this situation, this is what you do. And I think a player like Keane, I think he needs that. I don't think he wants to have a lot of free reign. I think he needs consistency. That's what he had at Burnley. It was very much like, this is who you're playing with. You're staying in the same part of the field. And I think he thrives under that kind of a situation. Holgate was a little bit disappointing, especially considering I think going into the season we felt like he was one of our strongest center backs, because he had shown that. He wasn't making a lot of mistakes. I felt very comfortable. And then he showed some moments during the season on some goals that we conceded where he seemed a bit naive. Like he wasn't tracking runners who were running behind him, that kind of stuff. Yeah. It happened another. It was. I was not expecting to come on here and have to say negative stuff about Holgate. But yeah, it happens. He's a young guy.
I know it's a bit off topic, and I don't mean to just drop it on you, but Ademola Lookman's just scored for England under 21s or England under 23s,
Boom.
Whatever it is.
Good.
Yeah. Maybe turning his form.
Yes.
He needs it. Yeah, needs it.
Yeah, I want him to start getting some minutes and then start being a happy guy and actually thinking, you know what, I actually want to stay there. Because if he's happy getting minutes, it's better for everybody.
Well, so. I think just to kind of tie it to the point with Mason Holgate, we did think he was one of our better centre halves, but I think that's atypical of Evertonians because of the faith and the passion that we have towards good young players. The moment we see a young player with a bit of star quality, I think we automatically assume that they'd be, a polished diamond ready to place in the middle of the starting 11. Me included in that. I definitely would have included Mason Holgate in me starting centre halves. But I think obviously with Zuma coming in on loan as well, and his move to Everton's obviously paid off with him getting called up for the French national squad. But we have two Premier League quality standard centre halves now, which is it's strange to say because did you ever think at any point last season that we'd be raving about how good our defence has become? Certainly not. And with Gerry Mina to add to the equation, it's nothing but good things to say.
I think looking at our player rankings when we would rank the players and look at our positions of weakness and constantly seeing center back being so low, and then we went out and just number one, Keane improves, and number two, we bring in two quality center backs, and one of them we haven't even really gotten to see. Who knows how good or admittedly how bad Gerry Mina will be, but we'll see. Right now, I mean, I know Max and you and I talked in the last record about how we I think our gut would be to kind of keep the same center back pairing regardless of whether Gerry Mina's ready. Dave, would you agree with that? Maybe maintain the same situation?
Yeah, because it sounds like we're all making a big song and dance about our defence. I'm still not 100% sold on them yet because, there's been improvements, but at the end of the day, we've still got one clean sheet, haven't we, all season, which isn't great on paper. I think you lads have hit the nail on the head. I think we need a settled defence now. It's something we haven't had. We haven't had a settled back four. And I am excited about Gerry Mina. I think if you're paying 30 mil for a centre back, chances are he's going to be a starter and he's going to be one of our better players. But I'd leave it as it is. I think Zuma and Keane have done nothing wrong to warrant being dropped out the side. So I'm with you two. I think let's leave it as it is and let's be ready to make the change when it needs to be changed, i.e. if someone goes out of form or if an injury creeps up, which inevitably happens.
Plus, there's the reality that when center backs play, they are usually in for the whole 90 minutes. And his behind closed doors friendly, he played 60. And so I think he's just going to need to play maybe more of those to kind of get up to game shape. I mean, because just popping in for your first 90 minutes in a Premier League, I don't care who we're playing. That's not going to be easy for anyone. So yeah. However, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say that was only going to follow on from your point. The Premier League's so competitive this year. I really think it is. When you look at the top 4 or 5 now, there's about 2 points between them, and then the rest of us, well, it is tight, so it's going to be very competitive this year. Continue, sorry, Gerry.
Just to kind of let everybody know, people who are listening on the podcast, anytime you hear David giggling like he's about 4 years old, that means the dog has hopped on the couch and given him a little lick on the beard and then jumped down. Just so you know, that's what you're hearing, all right? I think the really interesting question is going to be 2 months from now. Who are we starting? That's going to be the question. We started to delve into that in our last, when we were talking about the Mina Gomez segment that we just put out recently. But do you try to start accommodating all 3 center backs? Or do you get in a nice rotation? It seems to me if you want to build that stability, you need to have a pairing for a while. And if you change that out, you need to stick with the next pairing for a while so you can build that trust and communication and all that stuff. But 2 months from now, I'm wondering who we're going to be looking at.
I think Zuma's place is set in stone purely based on the fact that he's alone without the view to buy. I think you want to milk every penny that you can out of your loan signing. That just, this preset idea that I've got. I would love to see Gerry Mina and Kurt Zouma together at centre half, as obviously there's just a lot of anticipation surrounding the pair of them. Obviously, as I said there, Zouma being that loan signing who's a French international, and Mina being the Colombian hero from the World Cup. It riles a bit of excitement up inside you, and yet Michael Keane is playing really well, but I know you want consistency and I know you want stability, but would you not give him a little trial run? Bit of experimentation.
I'm a little bit different to Max on this one, actually. I wouldn't give him any priority just because he's on loan. I think you've got to play whoever's in form. And if anything, I'd actually rather see the lads who are going to be stable at the club playing more than the one who potentially won't be here next season, because the last thing I would want Everton to do is get reliant on a player that we might not necessarily end up signing. I can understand your point in that if you've got a quality player in there that you might only have for a season, make use of him, but I'm still not convinced Zouma would be our best centre-back, to be honest. I think he's been solid so far, but I'm not sure if he's what I consider our best centre-back at this time.
I don't mean to sound harsh when I say this, because I have been extremely impressed with Zuma when I've seen him play, but he's got this air of Mamadou Sakho about him when he's on the ball.
Yeah, it always feels like there's, and maybe we're wrong, lads. I don't know, because he hasn't really given us much to think this, but it does feel like there's a mistake there sometimes, or there's going to be and maybe we're so used to fucking dodgy centre backs that we're waiting for it to happen. I don't know, but yeah, I'm not sure yet. I'm happy enough with him so far, but I'm not writing home about him either.
Yeah, Max, when you were talking about the fact that he was on loan, potentially, let's just drain him if we can.
Yeah.
I had a similar. I was thinking. My thought went to where Dave went, which I was thinking. If we've got another young center back who may be doing equally well, do you keep the one who you've already invested in the most, so that experience will, because you've already put that money into that one player,
That's a really good shout. I think it's the investment of experience really going forward into the future. It's a really good dilemma to have.
Yeah. Oh God, it's awesome.
It's not as if we're picking the worst out of a bad bunch now.
Right.
We've got a bit of a luxury of choice, and as David said before, they're not the finished article. I because the high standard that I hold us to, I wouldn't even necessarily classify us as necessarily being good, as David said, one clean sheet, but gauging from last season, the improvement has been huge, because we're not parting like the Red Sea anymore. We actually seem decent at the back, and a big thing I do like about Zuma is his ability to pick his head up and just break into the midfield, maybe even crack a shot off. He was the one that got the assist for that Sigurdsson goal against Leicester, and you want things like that to come from your centre halves.
I think we'll be happy, won't we, as long as we just kind of keep proceeding in the right direction. That's the main thing. We're not asking to be challenging for the title this season, are we? Let's be honest, after last season. But if you can kind of, which it feels like we've done to an extent, if you can kind of upgrade in every position, which when you look at it across our starting 11 now, it does feel as if, I know Walcott come in January, but if you include Walcott in that group, it feels like we've improved in virtually every position on the pitch over the last 6 to 9 months, and I mean that's a sign that we are going in the right way. We just got to continue doing so. I
think having rational expectations, realistic expectations for improvement, I think that's a tough thing, because personally I don't expect us to keep a clean sheet every game. I don't expect that. No. What I'm hoping is that we suppress the other team enough to allow this potent-ass offense to actually outscore the other team. And if we can hold them to 1 goal, maybe 2, because I expect us to score 2 goals a game at this point. I do. Yeah. It's something that I just expect. And I don't think that's completely unreasonable, considering the fact that we are threatening teams every game. Yeah. We have chances. We have just not been actually cashing in on those chances.
That's only going to improve too, I think.
Agreed. Yeah. Totally agree. So, anyway, Michael Keane benefited from a stable, nurturing locker room. The guy has come in, had his head split open, and I'm not just talking about like getting stitches. I'm talking about his skull was opened up. And what? Like, I thought he was going to be out for so many months after that. He's come back, and he's just slotted right back in. He's looked great. A lot of respect to the guy. Michael Keane, no more jokes about your emotional fragility. No, we're going to have to figure something else out. But we'll get you. So, all right, guys. Anything else on Michael Keane? Are we good?
Good.
Oh, he's got to bye for a little while with me. Keep it up, Keano.
David's got his arms crossed. Harumph. You just keep impressing me.
There's work to be done, yeah, Keano.
Hard boss to please. All right, so So, everybody, that's the end of our Michael Keane segment. He's doing better. If you've been digging what we do, thanks so much. Please subscribe to the Toffee Blues channel. 12:30-ish, getting towards 12:30 in the subs department. So, thank you. If you decided you just can't get enough Max, check on his Twitter account. He'll tell you where he's going to be next. Maybe he's speaking in front of 1,000 people, or it's just a podcast, or maybe he's doing analysis on the Toffee Blues website. All right, so look for him there. Check out Dave's Twitter account too, because he's returned from Walkabout. Check out his Twitter account. He'll tell you where he's going to appear next. All right, it could be in America, visiting me here, and I can introduce him to beer that is not Budweiser. Max, if you can schedule something in your date book for you to get over here.
Dave can put me in his suitcase.
All right, guys. So that's it. Let's move on. Let's do some retro rumors. So, bye.